The latest entry in the Jurassic Park franchise is finally here, and while it may not be the best, it's certainly the longest.
Don't move. Bigger. Why do they always have to go bigger?
Jurassic World Dominion. Now, the Jurassic World series, whatever you want to call this rebooted series, it hasn't gone down great. Jurassic World, the first one, was a kind of fun movie that maybe set up an interesting series, but I wouldn't call it great or even really good by any stretch. And then Fallen Kingdom was just kind of a disaster. Started out promising, but then kind of just did the same thing as the first one. And it's kind of missing the point of what these movies should be about, and that's the characters and the dinosaurs. And instead, we're just going off on all this crap, like people are trying to weaponize them and people are messing around with genetics and it's all about corporations and stuff. And the movies aren't really about dinosaurs anymore, which is why I don't know if looking forward to is the right word, but I had hope that this one could have been good with the way the last one left off. Dinosaurs are unleashed into the world, and I thought you could do so much interesting stuff with this concept. And did they? No, not at all. We do get a fun Now This news clip at the start talking about the impact dinosaurs have had on the world. And then it's back to another plot where it's about a corporation fucking around with genetics. That's it. You could take the dinosaurs out of this one completely, and the plot would be the exact same. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This one follows all of the characters we've sort of come to know throughout these Jurassic World movies, centered on Bryce Dallas Howard's Claire Dearing and Chris Pratt's Owen Grady. And Chris Pratt I could take or leave at this point, but Bryce Dallas Howard, she's sort of become the through line for this series, and I like her. I like her as an actress, I like her as a person, and she's fine in these movies. She does a good job with the action. She much more than Chris Pratt in this one actually gets dirty and has a lot of action stuff to do, so I appreciated her appearance. We've got, of course, the big draw card here is bringing back the original three in Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. Now, Goldblum had a small appearance in the last one. I actually can't remember if the other two were in it. I've blocked most of that film out of my mind. But thankfully, they're in this one a lot more, and their scenes, you could tell they were at least shot in maybe 3 days or more, rather than 1 day, as it was clear for Goldblum last time. So, they're in it a lot, but at the same time, they do kind of spend most of the movie in one location. So part of me is like, how dedicated really were they to this? And, they're fine. I wouldn't say they're great. They've made Sam Neill's character a lot more goofy than he's almost comic relief in this. I thought Laura Dern was probably the highlight out of the originals. And Jeff Goldblum, of course, comes in and does his Jeff Goldblum thing, and he's always enjoyable to watch on screen. But they almost look as tired of the material as I was here. And, there are some new characters in this one. I won't spend too much time on them, but the main baddie this time around is Lewis Dodgson, played by Campbell Scott, who he runs this corporation called Biosyn, and he is, I'm actually helping people and creating a sanctuary for dinosaurs, but then it turns out he's actually evil and they have to stop him, and he's using the genetic technology for bad things, like in every other one of these goddamn movies. One person I really liked was DeWanda Wise as Kayla, who is this pilot who comes in, and she's sort of involved in this black market dino trading world. Yeah, that's a whole thing in this movie, and she sort of comes to help out the main characters, and she was just a really, really great presence, and probably one of the only comedic characters that was actually funny. And I don't mean she's comic relief, I mean she's a badass and has a lot of really, really cool one-liners. You've also got Mamoudou Athie, who I always like as one of the sort of chief people at Biosyn, who is a constant presence in this film, and I thought he added a bit to it as well. But this did nothing for me. It is 2.5 hours long just to retread the same crap we have seen in all of these movies before. As a spectacle, fine. The set pieces are good, the visual effects are good, there are a few inspired shots here and there, but narratively, it is borderline incoherent, and so much of it just comes off as thinly veiled excuses to get characters from point A to point B, and to get all of these characters in the same room. And my biggest issue with this film is that, as I said before, it just does nothing with the Dominion concept, with the idea of dinosaurs are let loose. What implications is this going to have on the world? And aside from 5 minutes at the start and 5 minutes at the end, it doesn't really dig into that at all. It's actually a really self-contained narrative about genetically engineered locusts that seem to take up more screen time than the dinosaurs almost. And yeah, it's just about this corporation that are trying to genetically engineer creatures to help themselves. They're not even dinosaurs. Like, dinosaurs aren't even the main point of the plot. They're cool. They're great in it, but they're kind of just there as obstacles or set dressing, and because it's a Jurassic movie. But you could literally take the dinosaurs out of this, and the movie, narrative-wise at least, would pretty much be the exact same, which I think is a real disappointment and a real missed opportunity and a real lack of creativity from those in charge, because it's like the amount of possibilities you could have had from this concept, and they just did the exact same shit that they've been doing. This definitely doesn't hit the lows that Fallen Kingdom did, but there wasn't really any point of this where I felt engaged or like I was having fun. I don't particularly care about most of these characters and narrative threads to begin with, so why am I going to care about the way you tie them up? And there isn't really anything meaningful done with the original cast either, save for a bit of fan service here or there and some fun moments. So yeah, I didn't enjoy this at all, and I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't that excited for it. I'm not even that much of a Jurassic Park fan, if I'm being honest, but I don't know who this movie is for. I'm sure it'll make money. I'm sure people are going to see it, but most people are just going to come out of this thinking, what was the point? It doesn't do anything different to the last two movies. It's like a real Rise of Skywalker situation where it's just, yeah, remember this stuff? Remember Jurassic Park? Yeah. That's really all I have to say about this one. Like, you're not going to remember it an hour after leaving the theater. I left the theater about an hour ago, and that's it. It's just another run-of-the-mill, empty, soulless shell of a blockbuster that is 30 minutes too long, and boy, do you feel it. Shout out to the toddler who was sitting in the next row who kept trying to get up and leave. I feel you, kid. I feel you. I'm going to give Jurassic World Dominion a 3.5 out of 10. It's competently made. Like, it's actually kind of well done on a visual effects level, and it's big and loud. The sound design's good. The set pieces are, I guess, well constructed, but what's the point of any of it if you don't feel anything, or if you don't feel like you're seeing anything you haven't seen before? And this was just a lazy, soulless cash grab of a movie that, did absolutely nothing for me. So that's that for my review of Jurassic World Dominion. Sorry to let you down if you were really excited for it, but I imagine unless you're like a hardcore fan and you feel the need to see it or you just watch everything, you can honestly skip this one. If you didn't like the other two, you're not really going to feel any differently about this one. In fact, it might even be more frustrating. So thank you very much for watching. More reviews coming. Follow me on Letterboxd and Instagram. Those are the best places you can find me. All that's in the description. Have a great day.